Hey Protean, I agree with what you have to say. Uh, I think they should be allowed to ban people from their property, but I do not think that just because you should have the ability to, that you also should do it. Uh, my advocacy of allowing someone to perform non-intrusive acts of bigotry and stupidity is because I think there is a psychological hazard in forcing someone to do something they're not ready to do yet, which is that you will have some people who you can convert from forcing them into a situation where they will receive evidence which shows them something to the contrary. But what I'm noticing for the most part, especially from seeing things like the reactions to the collateral murder video, is that when a person is paranoid and when they are afraid, they only look for what confirms their fear. They look for information related to defending themselves from their enemy, and that's the only relevant information to them. So I don't advocate forcing someone to mix or to integrate or anything else like that, because I actually think that it would grind a progressive movement to a halt. Because as soon as you do that, instead of it being like, these people, they're against my values. If you're not forcing someone, you have grounds to get someone to trust you, even though they don't agree with you. But as soon as you start forcing someone to conform to your viewpoints, you're a threat to them. You're a threat to their way of life, and you have made yourself into their enemy. So I really, really do not advocate forcing anyone to do something they're not ready to do. But for me, the whole, if something is right, does that, or if you have a right to do something, does that make it right? And no. It's like that whole thing of you were so busy worrying about whether or not you could do something, you didn't stop to think about whether or not you should. And that totally breaks it down for me. The reasons that I agree with most libertarian civil rights is that banning those actions or creating a criminalization for those certain actions would create an ability for people to be abused so greatly that it would cause the spread of worse abuses than the bigoted abuses that will happen under civil liberties. So that's where I'm at on that one. And a really good example is the recent Show a Picture of Muhammad Day, because even though I don't like that South Park was targeted, I don't like that their company censored them, which, I think they have a right to censor what's going out on their channel since they own it. And I just advocate that people don't watch Comedy Central. But the way that was organized just played right into the fundamental extremist Muslims. Because if you're living in an area that's getting bombed all the time, and you happen to be a moderate Muslim, which basically means that you're sort of, you're a token Muslim. You do it because it makes you feel good, but you don't take it that seriously. But you have people telling you that all Americans are bad, they're all evil, and that the reason you're feeling so much pain and the reason your friends are in so much pain isn't is isn't just because of what's been happening here, but it's actually systemic of their beliefs, that it is that that Americans are infidels, and that is why everyone here is hurting, is because they are infidels, and it is their infidelity that is causing harm on us now. And that's how every religion works. Is, are you feeling bad? Well, this is why. It's because of something we made up, and we can't prove the correlation, but no one can disprove it, and you're hurting really bad, and you're looking for an answer, and so here it is. And to me, that show a picture of Muhammad Day, it plays right into what the extremists would like to get moderates to think about Americans, because they're taught that they should be horrendously offended by us, and it just plays in that it's not just the military, it's not just the government. It is that Americans have beliefs in fundamental liberties which give them quote-unquote decadent license, that basically, they would say, leads to us having a hatred of them that is so bad that we see them as subhuman targets to be wiped out at our whim. And obviously there are some Americans who do think that, but that, I'm sure that's how it comes across. And to me, this whole thing just plays right into that. And I'd actually say the one thing I don't like about Rand Paul is, or not the one, but the biggest thing I don't like about him, is that he's for increasing sanctions on Iran. And I don't see how, choking off the air supply of someone who already is afraid of you is somehow going to make them less defensive.